And the countdown. Get 'em Magazine and Get 'em Inc. brings you Get 'em Magazine Studios, and it's
powered by Riverside.
That's right. Okay, so today we got with us Carlos, who's one of the promoters for the IFBB event in Miami. Everybody been asking questions about this. They've been telling me in the interviews they want to know about this event. So we got a chance to interview them and talk about it and see what's going on at the event, so everybody can participate.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you having me both. I appreciate Get 'em Magazine having me here. So I'm very excited to be talking about the IFBB and the IFBB Miami Grand Prix. I think a lot of times the first question that I should answer is, the difference in federation, because a lot of people, when they hear IFBB Miami Grand Prix, think that it's an NPC competition. Okay, so it is not an NPC competition. The NPC is a private organization that has NPC IFBB Pro League. That's them. Okay, so this competition, IFBB, is under the International Federation of Bodybuilding and Fitness. It's a congress of different nations coming together. As a matter of fact, 204 different nations coming together and recognized by more than 90 Olympic committees for official international competition. So FBB Miami Grand Prix is international competition coming in from some of the athletes or some of the best athletes that have already competed in their own country, in their own nation, won the privilege of competing internationally, representing their country, and then coming over internationally to compete. So the IFBB Miami Grand Prix is an international competition, and it's going to be fantastic. We had the inauguration. We had about 300 athletes from 20 different countries. And last year, we started back after COVID. So we had to restart all over again because a lot of travel restrictions. Some of those restrictions are still going on, but not as much this year as we were last. But at the same time, we have athletes coming in from all of South America, many countries from South America, Africa, Asia, Europe. So just about every country except Australia and Antarctica, I think right now, are on their way in. So it's really, really exciting. It's also, I think it's important to mention that the level of international competition. The IFBB is recognized by the Global Association of International Sports, which is basically the association that recognizes things like World Cup soccer and rugby and all these other sports. So it really does make it a very, very official federation for competition. Okay. I think that also another question I'm asked is about the difference between the IFBB when it comes to judging and scores and whatnot. And I happen to think it's my favorite difference between us and anyone else is where in the International Federation, each country nominates their own judges, right? So, I just mentioned 4 countries. Let's say to the Miami Grand Prix, we're going to have, let's say, countries. Okay, each 20 countries is going to nominate anywhere between 1 to 4 judges, okay, depending upon how many judges they have. There will be a pool of judges where the head judge will then pick the judges to represent 1 from each country, 2 from each country, or judges to judge a certain lineup, and then another row of judges to do another lineup. And the beauty is all the judges are on the same page, the same standard when they're looking at the criteria for each category. But at the same time, it's not always in judges. So it really eliminates the moral hazard of favoritism or maybe a little bit of bias. Bodybuilding can be subjective, where a judge might not necessarily like an athlete or like athlete a little bit more. Well, in this case, you're not always going to have the same judge. The judge is simply going to look at criteria, look at the athletes, and judge based off of that. So, a lot of the athletes that I've been talking to, especially about that alone, are really excited because it feels like it's a very fair judging panel. Let's see. What else? Another big difference is the recognition of Olympic sports. Okay, so now when I'm talking about Olympic sports, we're talking about different games: the Pan Am Games, the Asia Games, the Europe Games, the South American Games. So the IFBB, being by over 90 different Olympic committees, okay, is now involved in all these things, bringing the sport of bodybuilding to the Olympics. That's just the amazing opportunity for athletes to be able to partake and be able to represent their country, and finally, in our sport, the sport of bodybuilding, in a grander scale. Great. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah. So one of the questions I have
lost me?
is, no, I can hear you. Once they become an IFBB pro elite athlete, can they compete in other federations, or are they just locked in that one federation?
Okay, the IFBB Elite Pro division, because it is not the amateurs are the ones that qualify for the Olympics. The Elite Pro are handled as a separate league. So they do sign a contract, and typically they're not allowed to compete in other organizations. However, we have seen exceptions, or in some cases, since the U.S. is basically a brand new country back in the IFBB since the NPC was suspended in 2017, where exceptions have been looked upon favorably to be able athletes to do those things.
Okay. And now, can you tell us about like the dates and also the host hotel and what you got, the sponsorships, what sponsors you have, and et cetera? Okay, so the date for the Miami Grand Prix is August 17, 27, coming up at the South Miami Cultural Arts Center. I think that it's important to this particular facility, because if you look up Miami-Dade Cultural Arts Center on the internet, it is a palace. It's absolutely gorgeous. It is state of the art. It is huge. The athlete, basically an entire gym backstage to be able to pump up and prepare, and they get another area aside from their dressing room, be able to practice in front of a whole wall of mirrors, they're posing and whatnot. So that's a big mention. The South Miami-Dade Cultural Center in Cutler Bay. Okay, one of our sponsors is Crunch Fitness, where in addition to athletes being able to come in and use the gym and have a date, we're going to be setting up for athlete registration over at the gym. So I think it's nice to be able to go in and see. And last year when we did it, when all the members in the gym were like, "Oh, wow, check this out, what's going on?" And next thing you know, they got really excited, wanted to come in, they wanted to take pictures with the athletes, post, and it really, really made the athletes feel like celebrities. It's like, okay, wow, I walked into a gym and all of a sudden, people want to take pictures with you and whatnot. You don't really get that feeling everywhere else. I also want to mention Best Used Gym Equipment and Only Gym Equipment. So those are our major brand sponsors, where they have been very interested in taking care of us, setting up the gym backstage, and at the same time
they have agreed to also collaborate with the IFBB, which happens to be a nonprofit organization, and also donate and something to be able to donate some equipment down to some gyms in Nicaragua and other areas of South America. So I think that their generosity outstanding, and being able to provide a place for athletes to be able to actually pump up, really just use bands and body weight exercises, but actually get some weights, get some equipment, and really actually be able to look their best on stage. From there, also our presenting sponsor, We Spray Tanning. Of course, I got to mention them. They have been also really faithful with us since the very beginning in 2018 when I started working with the IFBB. They provide tanning not just for shows but for individuals. So they have been a big part of being able to take care of us and make sure that we have shows and provide a really good service to the athletes as far as being able to get out and make sure they look their best, take care of their makeup, any touch-ups, things like that. So they're really providing a great service for us. Okay, aside from that, we have Iron Goddess Florida, who is also sponsoring us. That is a sponsor or service that does meal planning based off of lean body mass. This is a meal planning service, not a meal service, but she basically takes the athlete's information and puts that into week-by-week menus and week-by-week planning to be able to give that athlete the best nutrition based off of their goals, whether they're in the weight loss phase or the body fat loss or the weight gain phase. That's big. Some of our previous sponsors have also been BPI. Now BPI has been big in the natural body sports and natural bodybuilding federations, always donating samples and taking care of the athletes and whatnot. So I think that by far, and of course I can't forget the Salty Savage clothing. They are my type of clothing line when it comes to a little dark humor and whatnot. But if you look up their clothing line, you'll be able to see, the name says it all, Salty Savage. So look them up and check out their clothing line.
Now, if somebody want to register for the show, where did they go to register?
Say that again for me.
If somebody want to register for your show, what's the deadline for them to register, and where can they go to register?
How to register? Okay, so there's two ways to, depending upon. If you're an athlete within the U.S., then you would contact me. You would go to ifbbpa.org and register through there. You would need a federation membership to IFBB Physique America. So the athlete can go on to ifbbpa.org and go on to the page for the Miami Grand Prix. All the information is on that one page with links to everything, links to federation membership, links for the photographer, Humberto Vidal. I can't speak enough about my photographer. He is fantastic. But in any case, it has a link to him, to the IFBB for the athletes to look at what official rules are. And I always encourage the athletes, look at the rule book. There's something where they judge the mandatory comparisons. They also judge and score dual presentation, something that is not done very often anymore in any other federation. So, and the poses have to be done a certain way. So you got to know the rules. Make sure that your shoes for the ladies, make sure that the shoes are up to regulation. It's not like that you have a big platform. You're only allotted 1 centimeter in platform, which is not a whole lot, centimeters in heel. And sometimes ladies are, they're used to competing with where the shoes are shoe size isn't really regulated, or the shoe height catches them off guard. So I'm big on read the rules. The rules also on the link. And everything is in ifbbpa.org. Rules are on ifbb.com. The National Federation membership is ifbbfika.com. Okay. The Federation membership is a yearly membership. It's $130. That $130 costs to cover obviously the rights to be able to compete in any of the competitions that are nationally within IFBB Physique, and also any drug testing that is done by the Federation. It is covered with your $130. What else? The IFBB Miami Grand Prix, because it's an international competition, every athlete will need a passport, and that allows them to compete at a national show. So let's say that you're ready to Physique America. Let's say you competed in the grand, you want to go to the Arnold Classic in Europe, right? Well, you don't need to purchase any more memberships or anything like that. You basically go in, you register, you pay for Europe, and you show your IFBB passport and for that competition or any other competition that is an IFBB affiliate around the world.
Nice.
I think it's cool. It opens up the whole world to you.
Yeah. So a lot of athletes talking about next year or this or even this year competing worldwide. They want to broaden their competition to see where they stand at. And then is it always in Miami around this
Absolutely.
time of year? Or? Okay. Nice.
It's always around this time of year in Miami. I opened up the second show, which was the Florida Classic earlier in June, to be an international competition. I'm always challenging athletes because here in the States, you have athletes that are like, oh yeah, I'm the best in the world. And I always say, competed against the athletes from the rest of the world yet. And they're, and I was like, so I'll invite them over to the Miami Green. I was like, win there, and I will gladly place you as one of the best in the world. Mr. America, Jay Wright, is amongst one of the best in the world. He has competed at the Miami Grand Prix and won in the Classic Physique category. He has gone to the Arnold Classic in Europe and competed there, and he was completely wowed. He did very well. So yeah, there's one of those things that I tell athletes who are very competitive is like, listen, you really want to know where you stand against the rest of the world. Come compete here. It opens up the doors for more international competition. Come really find out where you stand from the rest of the world.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much for the interview. That's Carlos from IFBB Grand Prix in Miami. Looking forward to see you coming soon.
Thank you.
Powered by Riverside.
All right. Now we got to get ready for our next.
Who do we got next, Ernest?
So let's see. We have nobody in the lobby yet, but supposed to be OCB Alabama. I think she's supposed to be on. Yep, should be on about 7 minutes.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So let's talk about all the events. We could do that for right now.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of events. Matter of fact, you have one coming up soon, don't you?
I do. So I am going to be competing at the Show Me State Classic for with the USBF, and this is Q Show. It's going to be in St. Louis on September 3rd. I'm looking forward to that. There's a couple other athletes that I know for sure are going to be there. So I'm looking forward to getting together with all of them. There's also a pretty hefty bag that's getting paid out for the first, second, and third place winners. So that's always motivating too. But yeah, so we're going to see how it is. It should be a really good time. It's also my birthday weekend, so I'm hoping that brings me some good vibes and some luck, But yeah. And then after that, personally, I will be competing in the Battle of the Bay, which is a WNBF INBF Pro AM, and that is on the West Coast in Fremont, California. And that is to be my qualifying show for the WNBF Worlds, which I will be competing in November 19th. So there's another show in there that I haven't quite decided on. I mean, it's one of two. So before I open my mouth and say which one it's going to be, there's one squeezed in there around end of November or end of October, early November. So we'll see which one I pop up at, but that's kind of the plan for me. What about you, Ernest? Are you getting on stage anytime soon?
If you've been asking about what shows I'm going to this year, I'm like, I've not decided yet. I have been invited for the GBO Natural Atlas. I won second place at the GBO in Florida, the beach body competition. So I've been awarded to compete in that one in November. Well, and the USBF championships, I'm looking at that one as well.
So when is that show? Is that in October or November?
I think that was in October.
Okay.
I believe that was in October. They got a special edition of Get a Magazine for them as well. The GBO got a special edition as well.
There
so
we
both
go.
of those issues.
Some of the athletes from those specific shows in those magazines or those issues specifically. Is that what we can look forward to?
Yeah. So USBF, they sent me the athletes that's competing in that one, the returning champs. The men and women who won in those, Showtime Keeper's his pictures are going to be in that one as well. he's everywhere.
He's popping up absolutely everywhere.
Yes, he is. So he's in that one, and he's in the GBO one as well.
You just start collecting Showtime memorabilia. They're going to be collector's pieces. Watch.
So now we have Nate joining us. So I haven't decided which show I'm doing yet. There's 3 of them I'm looking at. I'm also looking at the NGA championship one. I'm looking at that one. I forget the name of it, but I'm looking at that one.
That would be NGA Universe, I believe.
Right.
And that one's November 5th. I think there's a couple shows November 5th. And then, let's see, the Natural Olympia is going to be November 12th, and that's going to be in Vegas. So there's like a heavy packed lineup for November shows, which is really exciting. So I feel like all of the natural bodybuilding world is going to be, heavily in prep until then. So it's exciting to see what everybody can end up bringing towards the end of this year. Who's going to hang on and who's going to push through to survive the rest of the season. I know I'm barely hanging on. I mean, this is only show number 2 for me this year, and I'm already tired. So we'll see. These next few months are going to fly by, though. I feel like everyone's probably in the same boat. Time slows down as you're doing it, and you look back and you blink, and it's done. Shows came and passed, and then you're ready for the next year.
Yeah, I'm trying to put on some size right now, but soon I'll be doing my prep thing, and November's a rough month because I'm
putting on size. My ass is always on a diet. That's what it is. It's like I look at food and gain weight. That's just where I'm at in my life. I'm getting older. I'm a big person. It's like I definitely am constantly dialing in instead of having some wiggle room to bulk up. That's the issue.
So I see Nate. I see Nate's name, but I don't see his video anywhere. Nate, are you there?
Uh-oh.
You can hear us? Hello, Nate. He's in here, but I don't see him nowhere. I don't see his camera. I get him to try it again. Like a limbo. Okay. Well, she should be. I can see and hear you, just not coming up.
Uh-oh.
Okay. He said text me. Sorry. I got a big dog.
Oh, I can hear him.
Everybody's scared to come to this house.
That is not a dog. That is a horse that you have at your house.
He
That
don't
thing
play no
sounds like a
game.
great. What is it?
He's a German Shepherd.
Oh my goodness. What's his name?
Caesar, King Caesar.
Oh, okay.
He's big, too.
That's very appropriate for a German Shepherd.
Okay, so Nate, I just let him in the room.
Let's see. Nope, nothing. Not quite.
Nah, I see his name, but I don't see. He said he can see us and hear us.
Interesting.
Okay. Let's see. Well, they said they're using Chrome. They're gonna try again. Yeah. So next year, what you got planned for next year? You already looking at some shows you haven't tried yet. Did you think gonna try next year, or you already got some you guarantee you're gonna do next year?
I mean, I definitely have two that are set pretty heavily in stone right now. I don't quite want to give them away yet, but I will be. I have decided on two, which obviously is going to dictate kind of what my off season looks like. You know, I'm not saying that I'm retiring, but I'm not sure quite how many more years I'm going to be banging this out year after year after year. It's been 5 straight for me already since 2018, and I have consistently competed yearly. So, it might be time to start considering less shows throughout the bodybuilding year. I'm not saying that they're all going away, but, this year I've been in prep pretty much all season. I started early on to get ready for the Florida Pro, and that's because I do kind of eat like a-hole during my off season. So I went ham right after the WNBF Worlds, and that's typically what I do, right? I'm it's time for wine and charcuterie and cookies and all the things that I love to eat. So I had to rein it in pretty early on. So with that being said, I might not want to stay in prep for so long. So I'm either going to compete much later in the season or early in the season and maybe skip out on the last half. I don't know that I can really do another full year of prep. That's just me personally. So that's kind of where my mind is at, just because I'm ready. I'm ready to start enjoying other things, I think as well. Now that's not to say I'm walking away from bodybuilding, but maybe you'll find me judging a bit more and things like that. So we'll see.
Oh, speaking of the GBO.
What's up, man?
How's it going?
Hello.
Hey, y'all, what's going on? I just want to try to pop in right quick.
I see you got Get a Magazine in the background too. Nice.
Hey, Samantha, how you doing?
Good. How are you? It's good to
I'm
see
good.
you.
I'm good. I'm tired. It's peak week for the Legacy Classic, and I'm running like mad, man, trying to get these.
We got you for an hour. We're appreciative.
Yeah. So what's going on, Mr. Get 'em Magazine?
Nothing much. Let's go ahead and bring you in.
Okay.
Recording.
Powered by Riverside.
So you've seen this man everywhere. I mean, he goes to different shows. He's everywhere. So you know who he is, Mr. Todd Rogers from the GBO.
What's up, peeps?
Hello.
I know you got a lot of shows going on right now.
Right. We got a lot of them going on right now. I'm in peak week for the Legacy Classic, here in
Nice.
Houston, Texas. It's going to be an awesome show, man. You know, if you ever been to a Legacy Classic show, you know that the production of the show is going to be top notch. You know, we're going to have a bunch of stuff going on, and we're bringing in over 30 natural pros from across the country. So it's going to be awesome, man.
Nice. Now tell us about the GBO Atlas, because we know we got a special edition coming out for that one. So tell us about that one.
Yes.
That's what's up. Tell. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, okay, so we got the Atlas coming up. You know, the Legacy Classic is a qualifier for the top 5 in each pro category will earn a spot at the Legacy Classic, which is November 19th here in Houston, Texas, at the Stafford Center here in Houston, Texas. Again, this is the second year for it, but this year we're bringing that BAM to it because we're coming with $70,000 cash and prizes for the athletes, $5,000 every category: men's standard bodybuilding, women's classic bodybuilding, men's classic bodybuilding, both beach body, men and women, which is our bikini and physique divisions, shape, which is our wellness division, and we also have figure, which is our, of course, our figure division, and we also added pro wings. So pro wings will be in there also. They'll be getting $1,000 first place prize, but it's going to be big, man. It's going to be big. Right now, we have a lot of athletes that's qualified throughout the year. We still have about 4 more shows on the docket ready. We got the 2 Diva shows. You got the Diva Oklahoma on August 27th. You got the Diva Atlanta, which is September 17th. And then you got the granddaddy of them all, that Texas Titan, which is going to be October the 8th here in Houston, Texas, also promoted by Dwayne Malone.
Nice. Man, because I Eric Murphy, we talk sometimes. He got, matter of fact, he got a live stream coming on the 21st, 29th. He's looking forward to that one. I said, yeah, man. I told him who's in it. He's like, oh, that could be a stat group.
Yeah, he's gonna be in a nice stat group this Saturday at the Legacy Classic, because he will be at the Legacy Classic. Mr. Eric Murphy, Mr. Natty top 10 number 1 guy will be stepping on stage and gracing us with his presence at the Legacy Classic.
Nice. Yeah, he got 20 shows. So I'm counting down. I'm following out his routine, his trip.
Hey, that I know that's amazing, Samantha. I sit there. I did 7 shows back in the day, 7 shows in a row back in the day, and man, I was dead at the end of the season. And Eric Murphy's talking about doing 20. He's already at 7 right now, if I'm not mistaken, with Legacy being the 8th show of the year.
Well,
that's big time.
2 in 1 weekend, right?
He actually did the Dallas show. Then he jumped on the plane and went to the Florida show. He did Isaac's show in Dallas, then jumped and did Daryl's show in Florida. He is truly Superman.
Yeah. I needed like 3 weeks to recover from that show in Florida. There's just no way.
He's about 4 weeks just to recover from promoting these shows.
I hear that's true too from other promoters.
Yeah,
you guys put in so much work for us, and we're so grateful for you.
When they're in peak week, we're in peak week too, and we're running with our heads chopped off like chickens, but hey, in the end, it's all worth it. Just to promote natural bodybuilding and make sure that we put these people on the map and give them the exposure that they deserve as natural athletes. It all pays out in the end for me. That's my reward, being able to give back to the sport that gave me so much.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
We're so grateful for people that truly care, just like you guys. It's amazing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But
now, what's gonna be different?
Crazy, man.
Now, what's gonna be different this year? Oh yeah. So what's different this year than last year? What you gonna have different this year at the Atlas?
Well, the difference is that now we're promoting it under it's a global bodybuilding organization show with GBO Naturals, but we're actually promoting it under the Onyx Entertainment flag, which means that we're going to bring a whole lot more production to the show. we're gonna, of course, the payouts are extremely more. We're right there on the base with all the other natural federations and their championships. So this is like unprecedented right now because I have never seen what all the natural federations, the top federations, have been giving out like $3,000-$5,000 a class per show. That's unheard of. I wish they were doing that back when I was competing. But it's unheard of right now, and we're in a good spot for natural bodybuilding right now. And I can't tell you how excited I am about it. But the Atlas is going to be crazy. We're going to have. I'm still giving out special invites to those champions. So if you're a world champion in another organization, then and you want to compete on the Natural Atlas stage, contact me. Let me know what your stats are and what you actually competed in, and we could try to make that happen for you. So you can get on this stage and compete against these top-notch athletes. So that's another big thing that we got going on there. So this, like I say, even Samantha, it's gonna be crazy, man. I'm just so excited that we're able to put a world championship here in Texas. It's overdue. We have so many amazing natural athletes in Texas, and they are spanning out this year. I know our Miss Atlas, Melody Farkas, she'll be at Mr. America. She'll be at the USBF United States Championship. She'll be there. So we have athletes from Texas who are world champions in their own right. They're going out and competing in these other world champion federations and organizations. So I'm excited about that. We just started in 2018. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
GBO Naturals actually came to life in 2018 with this show right here. It was the first ever standalone tested show by the Global Bodybuilding Organization, which actually gave birth to GBO Naturals. And so here we are now with a world championship, and it's crazy. It's crazy, but I love it because I'm able to give back to these athletes, and that's what it's all about for me.
Now tell us about the sponsors for your event.
Oh, the sponsors. So we got our big sponsor, our big title sponsor is Mr. Bill Perkins, Die with Zero. We also have a big sponsor with Skyfi app. They're a big sponsor. We got you guys. We get a magazine sponsoring. You know what I'm saying? Putting out, a double cover. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have the double cover with the Atlases, man. That's so dope, and I really appreciate you for that. But yeah, those are our big sponsors. And we still got vendor spots available. So contact me if you want to try to get vendor booth or something like that, and we'll make that happen.
Awesome.
Now, you got shows leading up to that. You still got a Diva show coming up?
We got 2 Diva shows coming up. We have, like I said, August 27th. We have Pro Women's Beach Body, which is our equivalent to bikini, Pro Bikini. And that's a qualifier for the Natural Atlas, and it's going to be August the 27th, right after the Legacy, the next weekend in Oklahoma City. Actually, it's Norman, Oklahoma, but that's Oklahoma City, right outside of Oklahoma City. Then we're going to come back right after that and head to Atlanta for Georgia, to Sugar Hill, GA, which is Georgia. And we're going to have the Atlanta Diva. So that's going to actually be featuring women's pro figure. Top 5 qualifies to go to the Natural Atlas.
Nice. So now, tell us about some of the athletes you got competing in the Atlas, because I know you got Showtime Keith gonna be popping up too. So
we gave Showtime Keith a special invite. Hey, he's Mr. Universe. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Universe will be there to do a little boxing with those folks up there. So he'll be in our men's beach body category, pro men's beach body categories, going up against Mr. Atlas himself, Lazarus Crumby. So, they actually got a chance to meet in Florida when you guys did the show down there in Florida. And so they got a chance to meet, shake hands and stuff, Mr. Universe and Mr. Atlas. They got a chance to meet. And that was a special moment for me right there too. some more special invites. Of course, you know, all the big time shows like the Dallas Showdown with Isaac and them. We're bringing in Eric, even though Eric was going to qualify anyway. I'm just put that out there, but we brought him in for a special invite also. Most of all the winners that competed at the Florida Pro, they got the special invite. The Mr. America, y'all need to support Mr. America. If you're dealing with natural bodybuilding and you have anything to do with natural bodybuilding, may you be a competitor, may you be a promoter, may you be a president or whatever you are in the capacity of natural bodybuilding industry, you need to support that Mr. America show. So our champions there at the Mr. America, all of them got special invites to come and compete at the Natural Atlas. You know, IPE, we're gonna have we invited a couple of IPE pros that they won the year before. Like last year, we had Johnny Dotson. He was there, Mr. America. We also had Brickhouse. Brickhouse was IPE world champion. So we had a lot of world champions on the stage last year. We're gonna have a lot of them too this year. We've confirmed that all our Atlases, our Atlas world champions, will be back. So you'll be seeing Jeanette Feliciano, which is out there in Florida representing. She's over our women's pro beach body. She'll be back. We have all of them. Robert Johnson, standard bodybuilder, he'll be back. All of them will be returning to the Atlas this year, which is big to say that all your world champions are going to defend their title.
Going to come back. Yeah,
Nice,
that's
nice.
great. That's incredible.
Now, where do people go to register? If somebody want to register to compete in the show, where do they go to register?
So
And what they do to qualify?
let me tell you this to clear this up, because a lot of people get it confused. It's a pro-am. It is a pro-am, and it seems like a lot of focus is on the pros that will be competing, but it is a pro-am. That means that we have amateur and pro divisions. So amateurs do not have to qualify. All you have to do is go to www.gbonaturalaatlas.com and register. That's it. And register, you know, and you're in. You know, all our qualified athletes, they can start registering also now at the same website, www.gbonaturalaatlas.com. You know, that's where you go to register. Don't matter if you're a pro or amateur, but pros, remember, you do have to qualify top 5 in a show leading up to the Natural Atlas, or you receive a special invite, director's invite from WA. And basically, like I say, we're doing world champions and those that have been in super shows. You know, those super shows are those athletes that competed and won 15 plus. You 15 plus in a show in a division, you deserve a qualification. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You deserve a qualification.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. And give us a date again. The date and where's the venue for this event?
November the 19th here in Houston, Texas, at the Stafford Center. The Stafford Center. It's the big center that we have here down in Houston, and that's where the show will actually be at. So it's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be crazy.
Got any special guests?
No, not right now. You know, as far as promoters, I know my man Daryl DeVore, he said he's coming through. You know, he's gonna be out there. I love the dude to death. He's so supportive. He's a big part of natural bodybuilding. We'll have Natty Top 10 will be in the house. Isaac and Keith, they'll be in the house covering the show. They'll also be in the house for the Legacy. Isaac is one of our sponsors for the Legacy Classic, so he'll be at the show with his brand, which is the No Excuse Crew. So they'll be there also. So it's big, man. It's a community. It's all of us helping each other hand in hand to grow the organization, to grow the promoters, to grow natural bodybuilding as a whole. You know, all of us coming together, just like you guys are doing, being able to give this platform so we can talk about it and let everybody know what's going on.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And so,
Thank you so much.
okay, Samantha, you got to say?
No. I was just thinking on what he was saying, because he's 100% right on us having to come together as a community, and just, you know, with the Natty Top 10 coming together and being there in support of you and your show and so many other places I know that they're popping up, I have to say is really exciting.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure on being on with the live with them a couple weeks ago, because I was ranked for the month of July, which was, you know, incredibly humbling. And I loved the fact that they're taking the time to showcase athletes, because kind of in the same realm as like MMA or following different fighters, you know, now we can kind of see a broad spectrum of athletes, not just competing within one federation, but amongst us all. So us as natural athletes, like maybe we're sticking to one or two because it's either close to home or easier to get to or whatever, but there is an opportunity to still be ranked amongst the pros, you know, across the country, which is very cool, because just because I may not see a woman on stage doesn't mean that we maybe didn't follow, you know, similar paths in order to get those rankings, compete in big enough shows, compete against enough pros throughout the year to still have a standing. And I think that that's really cool that they're taking the time to really follow the
100.
athletes, taking time to put all the different shows on different levels, whether it, you know, I think they're rating them by colors, so like gold, silver, platinum, you know, all these different shows, depending on how many athletes are showing up and how many other pros you're beating out. So I just think that that's so incredible that they're taking the time to really research the stats of everybody, you know, because that's so huge. Everyone wants to know. And, you know, if they really care about that ranking, maybe that's going to kind of help dictate where they're going to end up. Like, oh, well, this show, I know there's 10 to 12 athletes showing up for, it's going to be bigger. Maybe I'm going to choose to make the trip to go to that one, because if I do well, and I know I can, you know, that's going to put me up on that Natty Top 10 list. I think that's really cool that they're doing within bodybuilding as well.
I know, and it's so important that we support this, because even when Sammy Jordan was doing, I was 100% behind the call out, and I'm 100% behind the Natty Top 10, because it's so important, not just for the athletes, but for the promoters and for the organizations. So it's big, you know, it's that next level platform that we need to get our word out to the rest of the world about natural bodybuilding.
100%.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. So thank you very much for having us being on our show.
Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Samantha. And E, man, look, anytime y'all want to put me on the show, I can talk. I know how to talk.
Yeah.
I be talking my butt off, man. And if we talk about natural bodybuilding, our show can talk. I'll take you all the way back, because, you know, I've been in the game since 2012, 2010. You know, I've been in the game for a long time. I started promoting back in 2015. I done seen things come and go. And right now we are in a good place for natural bodybuilding. Before we go, let me get a shout out to my Atlanta sponsor out there, my man Big J in Atlanta.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah. The Train or Die compound. You know, they showed so much love when we was down there, and continue to show love. So I want to send a shout out to Big J at the Train or Die compound.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. I appreciate y'all.
Are you welcome? Thank you. That was Todd Rogers from the GBO.
See y'all November 19th, baby. Peace.
See you November. So we're trying to get Nate on, but for some reason the video's not coming up for him. Well, I see Nate trying to come in, but it's for some reason not. Let's see, how many was that so far? That was 2. He's trying to get on there. So wow, yeah, that one, GBO Atlas, man, that's gonna be a show because Eric Murphy gonna be there, Showtime Keith gonna be there, all the returning champs gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be a stat group. And I saw the ones from last year. It was like a bunch of guys.
Oh my God. You know, what's so cool about that is that you're seeing these guys kind of line up against each other multiple times throughout the year. So you can see where their body is, like at the beginning of the season when they meet up, maybe what changes they made. And then the next time you compare the two physiques or three physiques, when you see, you know, these gentlemen in a lineup that keep on competing against each other. So I think it's going to be really interesting because you're going to see a lot of these same names, a lot of these same people popping up against each other in all these shows throughout the rest of the year. And that's going to be really cool to kind of see where they stack up against different judges, how their bodies are holding up, what they're doing differently to kind of change, you know, their approach for this specific show. I mean, there's so many things that kind of account into what your body does that day: stress, you know, the travel itself, rest, recovery. I mean, we noticed, we even just touched on that with that show going from Dallas all the way to Florida and getting on a flight. There were several athletes that made that trek, which was just crazy to me, you know, because I would never dare, but they did it. And then they got on stage the next day and they looked amazing. You know, they fought through being tired. I mean, you're getting on a plane with water weight, you're putting your body through a peak, you know, your whole show day prep, and then to turn around and do it again. Which is also a learning curve because I'm sure they discovered a lot about what they can push their bodies to do that weekend too. You know, some might be opting out of doing it again and others may see that it could work for them. Like, for example, just finding yourself in a position where you're torn between two shows, and if you can make it to both, then it might be worth it. So, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, because I remember when I saw Eric Murphy that day at the Florida State Pro. I was like, he said, "Yeah, man, I just got the plane." He was tired. He said, "I didn't get no sleep," and he did very well at that show. I mean, he
incredible.
Yeah, because Showtime said even on the free shows he got coming up, he said he always fly in on Thursday to give his body time to deal with the stress and all that for when he's competing Saturday. But when they came in like literally that morning.
Like at 3 a.m, and then turned around and we're ready for prejudging. That's crazy to me. And I'm the same way. I like to get somewhere the day before a show. I'm laying down with my feet up all day. Like, don't mess with me. I might pose a little bit if, like, you know, my coach wants some check-ins, but like I'm laying in that hotel room all day on Friday with my feet up, watching TV, counting down till I get to eat again. Like, that's all I want to do the day before a show. So to have to think of how sore you are from just the output of the day when you're on stage, the posing, you know, I know you men don't wear heels, but us as ladies, I mean, our lower backs and our feet after a day of being in those heels competing is like, it's terrible. So to turn around and do that 2 days in a row, you know, my hat's off to those athletes that did it, period. Because like I said, I'm exhausted for at least 2 or 3 days recovery time. I'm fine with just laying around, you know, until it's time to get back on. Oh, it looks like we're getting Nate.
Yeah, nice.
I think I finally made it.
There we go.
Technical difficulties on my end. Sorry. Better late than never.
Going? Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. Going good. Can you hear me? It's good. It's good.
So let's go ahead and get this started.
Can you hear me good?
We can hear you good.
Powered by Riverside.
Now, I hear about your show all over the internet, so I'm interested. I'd like to hear what you got to say, what's going on this year for the OCB battle on the beach.
You know, this is our first year that we're bringing in the pro class of bodybuilding and figure, and from our first year we went to what used to be with the OCB an unconditional pro qualifier. So each year we've met that minimum of 50 more. And then this year we're looking, of course, at being our biggest show that we've had. We've had to move it to a different event at the Wharf here in Orange Beach. But as of right now, we actually have a pretty strong lineup of the pro bodybuilders that are coming in, and actually some previous Yorton Cup winners that are coming in for the figure. So, I won't throw any names out there yet if they don't want them, dropped. But I don't, I don't want another competitor to say, "Hey, I'm not coming." But it's a pretty good lineup. I've been really shocked who's coming, to our show. It started out as what we thought would be a really good destination show, and it's been real good for us in the end so far.
Nice. So now you have any sponsors for this event? You have any sponsors?
Well, we have some local sponsors that are from just the Gulf Shores area, that are from the wharf. I usually try to do it all of ourselves, just from letting the show fund itself. But we have what is the Fitness Factory's gym that we're out of. And then we also have 5% Nutrition that has worked with us. We have a C4 Cellucor that has worked with us. We also have a few small businesses that have also worked with us too as well.
Nice. Now, is this something you have on at the same place every year, or just for this year?
Well, this year we've grown from what was a civic center to now an event center, because it's gotten to the size to where we needed more room. We're running out of room from where we were at. So this will be our first time that we're at the Wharf Event Center. So it's definitely not a stranger to bodybuilding. The NPC holds a couple of large shows there every year, and it's going to be something that they're accustomed to setting up for. Having the lights, the sound, everything that you're used to seeing at a bodybuilding show.
Nice. Now, where did the name come from? Like, how did y'all come up with the name?
Well, honestly, it was my wife and I were sitting around, and I looked around to see who I thought would be the best group for us to be part of. Yeah, I still compete myself, even as an old dude. I'm still out there on stage sometimes. So I connected with the OCB, and everyone in the OCB I really enjoyed and liked, and we got along well. And we lived on the beach at the time, and I said, well, what if we do a show here at the beach, and we'll just call it Battle on the Beach? Why not?
Right.
And it just stuck. Everybody that I threw that in front of seemed to like it, and so basically surveyed everybody that said, what do you think? What do you think? We got enough positive feedback that we went with it. So.
Nice.
So here we are 5 years later. Here we are 5 years later. So.
Nice.
What is the date of your actual show?
Well, it actually ended up. Usually it's in October. This year it ended up being November the 5th. I was thinking about doing a show myself on November the 5th, but now that won't be happening. I will
because you got to promote this
doing
one.
my own show. Yes, which I'm not upset, because we got a great venue. It worked out to when that was the only time we could get to that venue, so that worked out really good for us.
Okay, so
now,
November.
is this a pro qualifying?
So,
is this a pro qual event?
Well, it is. It's also a pro qualifier. Generally, every year we will have around anywhere from 12 to 14. Great, especially in the Southeast. What we would consider the Southeast, if we go way deep into Florida, it kind of gets away from the Southeast, but we've been repetitively one of the largest OCB amateur shows in the Southeast. Then by adding this pro portion, which I don't know if you can see it behind me, the pro men's trophy.
Nice.
That's behind me there last weekend, that after seeing that trophy, it's the biggest one that Niels Anderson puts out, and it drew a little bit of attention that some people wanted to come after, actually.
Nice. So your trophies, how your trophies gonna be? Are they gonna be kind of similar to those trophies? Can you hear us?
I think he may have frozen.
Did I lose
Okay, there
everyone?
you go.
Samantha, I still see you on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So your trophies, are they gonna be similar to those trophies? I probably missed that little last part you were saying. Can you hear us, Nate?
I think we just have a bad connection with Nate right now.
Oh. Man, battle on the beach. I mean, that sounds nice. Then you get to go to the beach when you finish.
I mean, yeah, but so this is down in Florida?
No, we are
Right,
actually can you hear me?
We hear you.
Yes. Oh, now we can hear you. Popped in. We were trying to
Okay.
figure out what was going on here.
We're actually about 8 miles from Florida. We are not
Okay.
actually in Florida, but we're about 8 miles from Florida. It's about how far we are.
Yeah, so he was saying you can go to the beach after. Is it still warm in November?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Here in November, I mean, a lot of people, that's part of their favorite part of the trip. They turn it into a family vacation. You know, they'll come for the week. We'll be sometimes in the 70s. Family gets to hang out on the beach while, of course, the competitor is in prep all week. But prep on the beach,
Yeah.
you know, it beats prep somewhere else.
That is true, because in California in November, we're already starting to battle that cold weather, and our beaches are freezing. The water stays cold, so
No,
very different.
No. It's very different here. It's we have we have an amusement park. You know, we have a lot of different things geared around the theme park. We have the beach. We have other things that a typical tourist town, which we bring in a 250,000 people every weekend during the summer.
Right.
But then as soon as September hits, everything goes away. Well, it makes everything cheaper for competitors that come in. You know, we have a $89 to $99 hotel rooms, which makes it easier for the competitor. You have all these attractions for the competitor's family that usually get drug along to these events, that have things to do. It's sort of a win-win. And that was part of the reason for us wanting to put it here, in Gulf Shores, at the beach.
Right. Right.
And then
where do people this year will be our the 5th anniversary for our show, which we're happy to have. We see a lot of shows, that come and go after a couple of years. And we also promote, we also have a couple of other shows that are in Alabama that sort of feed some of the pros, from those pro qualifiers, hopefully to the show that we have this year, which we look forward to doing the bodybuilding part because, in a lot of areas, bodybuilding seems to be, dropping a little bit compared to what it used to be, years before. Which, back in the day, it was all bodybuilding. It was a bodybuilding female or bodybuilding male. But the way things have changed over the years, we're glad to have the opportunity to put pro bodybuilders in front of a crowd, so, and figure too, of course. So we're really looking forward to that.
And where do people go to register for your event? Well, where do people go to register for your event? Nick, can you hear me? Samantha, can you hear me? Oh, okay.
I can hear you. I don't know that he
can
hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
I was going earlier. I could hear both you guys. I could see both you guys, but I could not. I could not make any connection.
So, how do people register for your event? Nate.
Yeah, we're really hoping, of course, to grow each year, and make this is, of course, our biggest event. So we're hoping that each year we can just pull in more and more and more pros. So,
Okay.
and with the Yorton Cup, coming up for us as of right now, there's a little over, I think, right at 100 pros that will be coming into the Yorton on
Oh, wow.
the 10th of September, which is just around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Really look forward to seeing the outcome of that show. A lot of great competition there.
Nice. That's a lot of athletes for 100. Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
But thanks for joining for the show. Thank
Which
you.
also with the Yorton, this is our first year of being all pro. Yorton, used to, it was also had an amateur portion, but this year it was
Right.
they moved it
All
to
pro.
all pros, which I think some had a little bit of a little worry about whether or not that would go well, but it's really went really well to bring in just a pro level show. It's had a really good turnout so far.
Nice. But thank you very much for joining us for the show.
We may have lost him for good.
Okay, and so what I want to bring up before we end the show today is got some thank you cards. So 1 second. Yep. So I got some thank you cards I want to put out there. One of them was from Thunder Classic. So these things, like when we sponsor events, these things we like. We got one from a Thunder Classic. So I just want to make sure, because I've been getting these and I need to go ahead and say thank you for them. And then the other one was it Florida Pro? Smell, you probably got yours already.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you from them as well. So I like and then we got what is it? I think somebody was trying to get mine because they put like a little hole right here. My little keychain almost fell out. Somebody tried to get it. So also thanks for the keychain and the little keychain we got.
Yeah.
But we have another show coming up again next week, and we'll be talking to some more promoters about the events. The next time, get them.
All right. Thank you, Ernest. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.